Alrighty, question 5. Once again, still from exercise 6C, trapezoidal rule. So, Connor took 3 measurements at 6 metre intervals across an irregular shaped field. The measurements were 10, 12, and 8 metres. Used 2 applications of the trapezoidal rule to calculate the area of the field. We're going to do it to the nearest square metre. So, a couple of things here. He's taken 3 measurements there at 6 metre intervals. 10, 12, and 8, and we need to use 2 applications. All right, first things first, I'm going to draw myself a diagram, okay? Now, it says he's taken 3 measurements, 1, 2, 3, at 6 metre intervals, which means those gaps there are 6 metres, okay? So that's reading that. And then they were 10, 12, and 8 metres. Okay, so they're my 3. Now, I don't have to draw any more of the diagram, but what I want you to remember is we've gone 10, we've gone 12, and we've gone 8. So that's approximate. One's shorter than the other and all that sort of thing. Now, what we're actually doing is we're finding those. Okay, we are making them trapeziums or trapezoids. So it could look like that. That's what it could look like, and that's great. That would mean we'd get the exact answer. But it could also look like this. We're still doing it the same way. We're still doing those 2, okay? Or it could look like this, or it could look like this. Like it's any number of combinations that it could look like, and it doesn't really matter. The main thing is I'm just going to draw it like that and go, yay, it's pretty. But that's what we're doing. We're just using those measurements that he's given us to calculate the area. So I've just drawn a rough diagram. The diagram does not matter. It just says so I can remember, here's my DF, here's my DL, here's my DF, here's my DL. So we are doing 2 applications of it. So it's H over 2, DF plus DL. I'm actually going to call that area 1 and that area 2. And I am going to, just for some of you, this will help. I'm going to call that DF1 plus DL1 so that I've got, this is area 1 plus H over 2. Now, H is always going to be the same. That's how we do it with trapezoidal rule, unless they're totally separate areas. But that's a different story. We're not doing any of them. And this one will be DF2 plus DL2. So what I'm doing is I'm just differentiating between the first one and the second one. So if I just change over to blue for a second, this is going to be my DF1, and this is going to be my DL1. Okay? So I'm going to have 6 over 2, 10 plus 12. Then I'm going to switch over to green, just so you can see these 2. This one is going to be DF2, because it's the first of the second area, even though it was the last of the first area. And this one's going to be DL2. So I'm going to have 6 over 2, and that will give me 12 plus 8. Okay, so that's all I'm doing. That should be pretty straightforward, I hope. But it's another way that you can, like on the last one, I just made them in separate sort of boxes so you could see them. On this one, I've actually just labeled it on the diagram. The main thing is that you have some way of knowing, and anyone marking it has some way of knowing which one was which in your mind. Okay, so we'll now go down and do the answer. So that's going to be 3 times 22, and that's going to be 3 times 20. So we're going to have 66 plus 60, which will equal 126 meters squared. And it's said to the nearest square meter, and that's what we've got. And that, my friends, is the answer. All right, enjoy.